Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Uh, I just thought I would make a video talking about what I've read recently. Usually I do wrap-ups every month, but because during June I was job hunting and I cut my reading back to only one book so I could focus on finding jobs and give that most of my priority and time. I just wanted to discuss about what I've been reading recently. And when I mean recently, about the last 2 months or so. Before I get into what I've been reading, I just want to give a little bit of a life update about how things are going for me. As some of you may know that I was job hunting, as I just said, and I got employment as a cleaner in a retail setting. I've been there for just under a month. It will be exactly 1 month in about 5 days. So, well, from me posting this video anyway. I'm really settled in. I can go in there every single morning because it's a morning shift and go in there, know what I'm doing, but there's still some things that I still need to understand and learn, which, given maybe a week or two, I would have understood that completely. But I've completely settled into the job. I really like it, even though it's a pain in the ass to get up at the crack of dawn. And yeah, bosses are really cool. I'm trying to be more positive. I haven't really had any negative thoughts recently with personal life or with work related stuff. My mind's been going back to my previous job because I was there for such a long time. Uh, in a way, I do miss it, but in the majority of the time, I don't really miss it that much, if that made any sense at all. I think it's because I was there for such a long time, but I'm glad I got out. Um, it was one of my life goals, and I'm really pleased I got out. I've got a job that I can take pride in. Yes, it's a cleaning job, but I take pride in making sure that the store is clean for customers and for staff. So yeah, I just want to say about what I'm currently reading right now. I'm reading the Storm of Swords by George R. R. Martin. In the UK, the book is split up into two. I'm reading part one now, which got about 170 pages to go. I'm reading a excellent vampire book called Blood Knight by J.S. Johnston. Can't believe anyone's not talking about this book. No one's done any videos on this book and no one's talked about this author on BookTube. But I can guarantee you one thing, guys. When I finish this book, which will be soon, I will be doing a video on this book, praising it very highly and the author. So keep an eye open for that one, guys. If all goes well, I sense a giveaway for that one. And I'm also just started Black Angel by Graham Marterton, doing it as a buddy read with Faces Book Reviews. Only just got into it, about a few pages into it, or about 5 pages actually. But hopefully when I get through Blood Knight, then I can give that more attention. So, what have I been reading for the last 2 months? It hasn't been much, guys, so don't expect like a massive list. I just want to make this quick because I don't want to edit a super long video, especially when I've just come back from work. So, this is in the order that Goodreads has put them in. So the first one is called The Tragical Comedy or Comical Tragedy of Mr. Punch by Neil Gaiman. This is a graphic novel that I got from my public library, or one of them, as I got a love-hate relationship with Neil. Most of his work seems to be either misses or okay, that was fine, nothing special, but that was okay. But I keep on going back to his work for some reason. I think it's the this need to like the guy because he's a British author, and um, it just feels right that I should like this author. But I keep on going back to his work, even though I have got a mixed opinion on the guy's work, you know. But this one is, I mean, I'm not sure if if people over in America or Canada or wherever you're watching this has this. But if you don't know who Mr. Punch is, basically in the UK back in the day, I mean back in probably the Stone Ages actually, there was these little tents that used to pop up at seaside towns, and they used to be like a basically a puppet show. Um, and it wouldn't fly now. It was basically loads of violence for kids. But this one, it kind of mixes art with photography, um, and some of the imagery is so nightmare fuel. It is so scary to look at. I was thinking about when I was looking at pictures of Mr. Punch. I was thinking, okay, that's one of the forms that Pennywise takes. Pennywise being Stephen King's It. But this one is about a boy who's at a seaside town. I think his uncle has a amusement arcade, which we don't really see that much. It says it's an arcade, but all we see is a kind of a aquarium or this big tank that has this mermaid in it that sings. Um, and this kind of strange Mr. Punch show going on. It was very strange. It was very creepy. Um, I didn't. I mean, it was fine. I wouldn't mind reading it again if I ever see it again. I wouldn't mind picking it up and give it another read. But I rated it a 4 stars out of 5. If you are trying to get into Neil and his work, and you like the strange and unusual stuff, then pick up this graphic novel. I don't know if it's going to change your world or rock your world or whatever, but it's certainly going to give you the creeps. Next is A Clash of Kings by George R. R. Martin. This is the book that I was saying to you at the beginning, the one that I was only reading while I was job hunting. I'm on a mission to read all the Song of Ice and Fire books. I wanted to read all of them this year, but I think I won't be finishing the last book. I think I might have to leave the last book to next year. But this book was, I think it's the biggest one out of the series so far, but it's massive. I've been doing vlogs throughout each 100 pages I read out of these books, because I want to try to document my journey, and also I think it's personally impossible for someone to do a 20-minute video about these books individually. It's impossible to say everything that you want to say, so that's why I'm doing it in a series of little vlogs. But this one was okay. Not my favourite. I think I enjoyed the first book more than the second, but it's still a pretty much more of the same thing. I give it a 4 stars. It's a good book, but not the best so far. Next I read was Charlotte's Web. Yes, I know. Why did I read this? I got it. Well, I found it as a second-hand copy of it, and I was thinking, okay, Charlotte's Web. I know about this book, somewhat of the movie. I haven't watched the movie, and I just thought, okay, yeah, be interesting to read the book. Ended up listening to most of it on Audible, audiobook rather. Um, it was okay, about a pig that becomes friends with all these animals on this farm, and with this girl. And the pig meets with a spider called Charlotte, um, and they form a unique bond and a friendship with each other. It's a very sweet book. Um, I'm not going to read it again. It was fine for one time, but not saying it's a terrible book. I just think, okay, I've read it, I've experienced it, I can move on. Am I going to watch the movie? Uh, Probably not. If I find it when I'm out and about and it's secondhand and it's cheap, who knows? Maybe I will pick it up and watch it on a rainy day. But I'm in no mad rush to do so. But the book, I rated that one a 3.5 stars. And if I didn't mention at the start, these ratings are all out of 5 stars. So next is the Lost Boys Appreciation Society. I absolutely loved this freaking book. I this book is a this book should be taught in literary classes in English and novel and writing classes. It is that good. It's a good novel to read to get past grief and loss in any situation, and overcoming that and knowing how to process it. Because I needed this book at that time in my life, because up here it was all self-destruct and I didn't know how to process the loss that I was experiencing, um, that I experienced, and I didn't know how to process it. But this book was kind of a comfort blanket. That when I was reading it, it was kind of a comfort blanket that was wrapped around me. I do not know whether anyone else has done a video on this, but I have done a video on it. It's on my channel, so please check it out. If anything that I've said to you resonates with you and intrigues you, go over to my video, give it a watch, and I would highly recommend that you give it a read. It is, it will comfort you as it comforted me. So I give it a 4 stars. The reason why I didn't give it the full 5 is because I think that it did kind of slow down and it was kind of a drag in some parts. Not a lot of the time, but a few places it kind of dragged and slowed down. But yeah, it was a good book. I don't have it anymore. I passed it on, and hopefully the next person that picks it up, it will help them as it helped me. The next thing that I read was a Buffy the Vampire Slayer book called The Journals of Rupert Giles, Volume 1. I've got, I would say, a bunch of Buffy books in my room, probably about 5 or 6, maybe 7. I'm a massive fan of the TV series, more Buffy than Angel, as I kind of grew up on it. And yeah, I just picked one at random that I had, and it happened to be this one. If you are reading this and you haven't watched any episodes of Buffy and you're going it completely blind without knowing anything about the show, not watching a single episode, not knowing who the characters are, you aren't going to like this book. This book is purely for the fans of the show. This book, I thought it was going to be about stuff from Rupert Giles's perspective. And if you don't know who Rupert Giles, you don't know who I'm talking about. But he's a main character in the show that's from season 1 up to the last season, about 7 or whatever. And I thought that this was going to be his perspective on kind of events that happens through the show. Not what we got at all. What we got is about 3 or 4 clips of the show, and Giles wasn't even the main character. He was there like he was in the episodes, but it wasn't from his perspective. It did break it up with Giles getting help from demons to protect Buffy. Didn't really go anywhere. Didn't really have any resolve or conclusion to it, so I thought it was kind of pointless. But yeah, I'm glad I read it. It was fine. As I said, I'm a fan of the show, and this one was okay, but I'm not going to hold on to it. I've got this show on DVD, so I can always watch the show rather than reading that book. But it was fine. But I rated it a 3 stars. And the last thing that I picked up and read was Deadpool Vs Carnage, the graphic novel. Now I got this one just before I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and in case you're wondering about what my opinion on the movie uh, it is really, really good. 95% of the jokes and the cameos in the movie are completely on point. Maybe about 5% of the jokes in it kind of went woo. Didn't really. I didn't get it. Went completely over my head. Um, but it's such a good and fun movie. I'm so glad that the movie did well, and I enjoyed the movie as much as I did. I do hope to God that they don't bring back what's Logan's name or Wolverine's name, the guy who plays him. When you see an actor's face and you know what their name is, but you can't really think about it. But I hope that they don't bring him back on a more permanent basis. I think that this should just be it, and he should retire from being Wolverine. But the movie was so good, it really was. But Deadpool vs Carnage is basically what it says on the tin. It's Carnage from the Spider-Man, series or universe versus Deadpool. Didn't really have a story, it was just about Carnage trying to get into enough trouble or cause enough chaos as he can, and Deadpool trying to go and defeating him. Obviously, because this is a Deadpool graphic novel, it is very gory and bloody and graphic. Probably not the best Deadpool graphic novel out there, but it was entertaining for what it was, and as a fan of these movies, it scratched that itch. So I rated that one a 4 stars out of 5. So that is just been my video, guys. A little bit of my life update, what I'm currently reading and what I have been reading for the past 2 months or so. Let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know what you thought about them. I don't really have really anything else to say. It'll be me journeying on and stretching this video out as long as I could or whatever. But yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to cut it off here, as I've got stuff I want to do, and I'm sure you guys have got stuff that you want to do. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.